Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
And if you remember, it was a couple of weeks before the election, and it was right after the debate. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton went to New York, and they did the traditional Al Smith dinner. And Donald Trump made this comment.
We have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." And I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office."
Well, that was a joke, but Jesse Jackson is not joking when he's calling on Obama to pardon Hillary Clinton. What for? She didn't do anything wrong. We've been told for months that Hillary Clinton didn't do anything wrong, even though we had James Comey say, yeah, she committed multiple felonies, but I'm not going to prosecute her, but don't you try this at home. See, that's the double standard that they've established. Remember back in September 30th, and this is the Detroit Free Press talking about this, there was a campaign rally in Michigan, and Donald Trump asked Obama not to pardon Hillary Clinton and her co-conspirators. He said if any charges were filed related to the email scandal. Now, of course, Jesse Jackson is not admitting that she did anything wrong, but remember, Alex Jones talked about this, and he said for 3 reasons Donald Trump ought to proceed or allow things to go forward in terms of investigating Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. Number 1, he said he would do it. Number 2, it's important to restore the integrity of the rule of law in this country and to make sure that we don't have one standard for the important people and another standard for everybody else. And the 3rd reason is just for his own personal survival, because these people are going to continue to come after him, as we'll see later in the broadcast. Now, Jackson went on to say it would be a monumental moral mistake, he said this today, to pursue the indictment of Hillary Clinton. He said issuing the pardon could help heal the nation, like President Ford's pardon of Richard Nixon did. And I got to tell you, I was a young Republican voter who had voted for Richard Nixon. Yeah, I'm sorry. We all make mistakes, okay? And I was absolutely offended when Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon. I thought he should have faced the music. We had Spiro Agnew caught, his vice president, caught in his office with a satchel of cash that was so corrupt. No, they should have been investigated thoroughly, and they should have been prosecuted. And I was angry at Gerald Ford for doing that. A lot of people were. He didn't get reelected. It didn't heal the nation. What it did was it killed Gerald Ford's political future, as it should have. He goes on to say, students are growing up, this is Jesse Jackson now, students are growing up in America that is an identity crisis. You know why they have an identity crisis? It's because of the identity politics of Jesse Jackson and Hillary Clinton and the other Democrats who put this in here, okay? That's the problem. And as I mentioned before, talking about breaking people into tribes, that is the antithesis of Martin Luther King, who said we need to not judge people by these superficial things that you have no control over. Instead, judge people by the content of their character as individuals. That is the environment that Jesse Jackson and Hillary Clinton have created. Meanwhile, we now have some more people who feel a sense of entitlement, and those are illegal aliens who are also demanding a pardon from Obama. Washington Times points out illegals demand Obama issue mass pardons because they're afraid of deportation fears. Now, let's understand, okay? These people are not undocumented workers. As they point out in the article, they say illegal immigrants are preparing to ask President Obama to pardon some 750,000 dreamers, okay? Now, if he were to pardon these dreamers for coming into the country illegally, that would be after the fact. They would still be remaining. They would still be violating the laws because they would still be here ignoring the legal process. And when they call them undocumented workers, as this quote here that they have of the people who are asking for amnesty, the group says millions of law-abiding undocumented immigrants. Think about that, the cognitive dissonance there. Millions of law-abiding undocumented immigrants. Now, that's why they play with the language. What they're saying is millions of law-abiding illegal foreigners who are here illegally and remain to violate the law should be pardoned. From here to the future, okay? That's the insanity that we have going on here. And the sense of entitlement from people who are not citizens in this country and who thumb their nose at the rules here, demanding to be pardoned, demanding to have things given to them. Listen to this part. Young adult illegal immigrants with a 2-year stay of deportation, which was given to them by the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Think about that. Here's another lie. Childhood arrivals, DACA, the DACA program. Childhood arrivals, they can stay for 2 years and get work permits. We got children working? No, because they're not children. Here's another guy who may be in line for a pardon. America's top spy resigned today. Didn't resign, but he says he's going to retire at the end of the Obama administration. That was James Clapper. And is he going to get a pardon? I don't think he's even asking for one. And of course, he's going to leave, but we're going to still have the surveillance state remaining behind. He complained, and this is a long article from Wired Magazine. You know, Wired Magazine has become such a statist magazine for the surveillance state. So Clapper is going to leave, but he's going to leave behind him a surveillance state. And he had this to say: members of Congress wait to ambush me, and they play what I call stump the chump. And in this article, they ask, is spying moral? Well, I would ask, is lying moral, when he lied to the Congress and said, no, we're not doing any dragnet surveillance. We all knew that was a lie. And it was proven to us by Ed Snowden's leaks just a few weeks after that. Is violating your oath to the Constitution, is that something that is moral? How about giving the government the authority that it claims to have under the Constitution when it disobeys the Constitution? And it's a very interesting article we don't have time to go into, but they talk about how he came in with the massive violations, spying on Americans. That was what the church and the Pike commissions were about. That was what gave us FISA, and they turned it on its head. They inverted it, just like they've done the Constitution. We have an illegal surveillance state. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on. You will find Brain Force, Survival Shield X2, and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.